Rams, Steelers, Jets, Vikings, Packers.
Damn.
It only pays 6-1, but still something. We live?
16 is a lot. Did you round robin to it or at all or no?
No. Just fired it.
Dope.
Remember when we were doing that boozy teaser thing a couple years back or last year?
Yeah. Hold up, I hope the
we live?
sound don't play on it.
Last year.
Perfect. Okay. Making sure that we're on here. We are.
Send out the link to the Degenerates, the League of Degenerates and shit.
Let's see.
See if I can get my keyboard off. Do I need to? Felix is in here. Let's go. Eagles, baby. Eagles. That was my Super Bowl bet beginning of the year. We got them at 9-1. It's down to like 6 or 5.5.
I don't think they can be undefeated through the year.
I think they have like a brutal schedule coming up. Let me see what the schedule was. I saw it. It's Dolphins. After this week, they got Jets, Dolphins, and then throw out the Commanders. But within a 6-week span, Dolphins, Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, Cowboys.
Yeah, that's a hella schedule.
Dolphins, Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, Cowboys again. I don't think they can get through that undefeated, but I still like it, Felix. I still like the Eagles this year.
That'd be dope. Let me send it to this other fantasy.
I think Felix or someone just followed us on Instagram. I followed them back, or maybe it was Rod. I think it was Rod. I think Felix already follows us.
Yeah. All right. I'm ready when you are.
All right, give me 2 seconds. Give me a second. Rome. Cowboys easy win. 49ers Purdy. Hey, I hate Purdy, Felix. Fuck Purdy. He does just keep proving everyone wrong, but fuck him. Oh, there we go. Rome just hit us with a follow. I got you on a follow back, of course. Who's the big Euro stepper? That's one of your friends?
It's one of my internet friends, yeah.
Spitting some motivational shit.
He sent you some motivational shit?
That's what he posts. That's what I saw him posting. I dislike the Cow. Yeah, I mean the Cowboys are the joke of the league right now after last week.
Yeah, it's tough. All right, my phone's going to die at some point. Let me grab the charger to bring it closer. Yeah, I'm ready to go.
All right, 1 sec. Let me send this text. Are we ready?
I'm ready when you are.
Week 7. No, fuck. Start over.
Make sure you clap. Make sure you clap at the beginning.
This is not a bit. I just can't get this right. Week 6, 2023 NFL season. Podcast 7, Nick. That's where I keep fucking up. Podcast 7, and it's a big week. We're coming off, and we're gonna get to it in the recap. But you had a week to remember. Okay, the prop god had a week to remember. I had a decent week. But how you feeling, first of all?
I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good. Just testing out Diet Smoke's new product over here.
You know what?
available to you
It's
guys?
so organic how we can bring our ad read up. So, of course, we're brought to you by Diet Smoke. Nick's just flowing right into it. Best THC, CBD, Delta 8, Delta 9 products. We got gummies, we got vapes, we got pens, whatever you need. They've got everything. And guess what? The best thing about it is there's all different types of strength. You want to get the good stuff that gets you on the couch all night? Great. You want the stuff that just keeps you light, feeling right? They got that too. Nick and Bean will get you 20% off. Remember, E on the end. Nick and Bean, 20% off. You got anything to add, Nick? I know we do this every week, but it's just the best stuff.
Best stuff. Totally recommended product.
Love it. Love it. I think your video, how's your video? Were you cutting out there?
I'm getting
No.
you a little choppy. I don't know if that's me or you or both of us.
I'm getting you a little choppy, so it's all good. As long as the audio's good, which I believe it is, we'll be fine. So, all right, let me check my mic, check everything.
Yeah.
All right. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, he's got the Diet Smokes getting him just right here. All right. So, recap from last week. Usually I recap first, but Nick, take it away after your perfect week. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I went 3-0 on pod picks, 3-1 on fantasy. We've had the under in the Patriots game versus New Orleans Saints. New Orleans at some point had me sweating. They're at like 34, they're at 31. Yep. I'm like, just please stop scoring the ball. So we hit on that one. Unders can be tough. Then I had a chalky play, two other chalky plays. I had Kansas City -3.5. Didn't think that one was very close. Weird ending with like the back and forth and the turnovers and the weird calls and whatnot. Came out on top. I'll take it.
Yep.
Definitely. I didn't think the game state like watching that game. I didn't think it was going to come down to a last minute play, but you know how the Vikings end up playing.
Yeah. The Vikings ended up almost covering, and there's a little phantom Taylor Swift call there to get the Chiefs to the finish line. So that worked out. And then what was your third one?
Then I had the Eagles. I think it was -4 or I had the Eagles. They were minus something. They might have been -4.5. And that one gets home pretty easily. They classically run the ball towards the end of the game to choke out the opponent. We might see more of that this week. We'll see.
For sure. And then fantasy, I know you had a highest scoring point in my league. So it was a good week for you overall. That's the type of league you need. What's Romy? He's hitting us with a 4. Is the 4 not good? Is the 1 good?
No, I think the 1 is good, and I think the 4 might have been an accident or a typo or something.
Okay. All right. Good. On my side, so I think technically on the pod picks, I went 1 and 2, but it was really a 1 and 1 because I think I took the Packers at -1 or -2, and they had injuries, and they ended up getting 2.5 points. So I didn't even. I had betted 4 was for the Eagles game. Got it. Beautiful. I mean, I hit. There he is. Brendan, my man, what's happening? So I hit that teaser with Atlanta and Pittsburgh, and then Philly or Dallas cost me a teaser. So I was 1 and 2 technically, really 1 and 1 on the picks, and then fantasy I went 3 and 3. I did lose 2 5-0 teams, so I am down to 2 undefeated teams. I'm down to 3 undefeated teams out of my 6, and it was still a solid week though. But yeah, the betting wasn't great for me, but your sweep was incredible. Prop God, he went 2 and 1 on the week. Breaking news here. I do want to tell the people, it looks like we're trying to get him in here, but it looks like the Prop God is not going to be here this week. I'm still pushing for it, but it looks like he may be taking the week off. He doesn't have any prop plays this week. And you know what? I do respect it because he only wants to give out winners. He doesn't want to just pick random plays. So we'll see if we get him on. If he has anything, we will. Brendan, call the Prop God. If he has anything, we'll definitely roll with him. So, all right, let's get into it. We're going to do things a tiny bit differently. Not really, but Nick and I had a discussion, and, obviously these shows are coming out Thursday and then the podcast comes out Friday. So we realize that the impact players, the ones we're talking about, we're a few days late. You've probably heard them on other podcasts or other shows. So we're going to be a little bit quicker on the impact players, spend a little bit more time on the marquee matchups. But either way, this first impact player, I know we both own him in fantasy, and it was glorious to wake up and watch him in Jacksonville. Brendan, I'm sorry we were facing each other, and I did have Travis Etienne. He's our first impact player of the week. 184 yards, 2 total touchdowns. Huge win for the Jags. Huge win for the Jags in London. And what do you think them being there a week earlier and getting acclimated helped a little bit, you think?
Yeah, honestly, I think that was a great play by them. We'll see if it bites them on the ass. I can't even speak. All right. We'll see if it bites them in the ass on the back end. Pause. Coming this week home, technically a home game, but they're fresh out of London town. So we'll see if the time zone ends up hurting them this week.
I would have thought they would have taken their bye this week, but I guess they didn't. I would have if I was them. I would have pushed for the bye. But either way, ETN looked great. Trevor Lawrence still doesn't look like the guy we saw to end last year, but ETN carried them across the line. They got a big win.
Calvin Ridley also.
Go ahead.
Calvin Ridley also looking good.
Did he? Oh, yeah. He had a bunch of catches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had like 8 or 9 catches. He had a good week. All right, next impact player. This guy, man, when he was traded, forgiven. Thanks, Brendan. When Goff was traded from the Rams to the Lions, and the Lions gave up the Rams gave up 3 first-round picks, everyone thought Goff was just going to be like nothing or cut or something like that. He's leading one of the best offenses in the league, threw for 3 touchdowns, ran for another touchdown. They didn't even have Amon-Ra St. Brown. What are your thoughts on Goff and the Lions right now, Nick?
Goff is running hot. This week is going to be a big test for him. He's got to go outdoors. That's one of the big knocks on him. Can he play outdoors? Can he play away? So he's going to have to do both of those this weekend. And we'll see if they can get a pass rush against him. But Goff killing it. And let's see how it goes and how he continues. The defense has really stepped up. The offense looked great last season, so they kept it humming. They trade out the 2 running backs. We're like, oh, why would they not just keep a good thing going? Plug in 2 other guys, and it's still going. Amon-Ra St. Brown emerging. So I like what they're doing over there.
Yeah, definitely. Tough test on the road in Tampa this week, who's playing really well. That should be a great game. That'll be in our marquee matchups, I believe. Maybe not. No, it's definitely in there. It definitely is. So, all right, we got ETN, we got Goff. And finally, it took 5 weeks, but Ja'Marr Chase is back, one of the best receivers in the world. 15 catches. I had to double check these stats. 15 catches, 192 yards, and 3 scores. Over 50 fantasy points in full PPR. Absolute machine. I mean, what else do you got to say? The Bengals are 2-3 now. A must-win situation in Arizona. They get the W. Burrow looked the best he did all year. Obviously, Ja'Marr had probably his stats for the year weren't even as good as that. So great game for them. What do you think? I got a question for you. So the Bengals are 2-3. The Steelers are 3-2. The Ravens are 3-2. Of course, that division is all jumbled. Do you have a favorite in that division right now?
If I had to make a bet, I would bet the Bengals to win the division. I think you can get them like plus 460 or something like that.
I was going to say the number's probably pretty solid.
Now would be the time to bet them if you're going to bet them. They're clearly better than the Steelers, in my opinion. Their ceiling is way higher. The Ravens are shaky. They win basically most. Just look at them last week against the Steelers, a team that's very bad. It's a rivalry, but some of the things that I see the Ravens do in some of these games are mind blowing. The way they lose some of these games for such a good team.
Yep.
But so if I had to make a bet on the division, I'd take the Bengals right now.
Yeah, and I was going to bring this up in marquee matchups, but let's bring it up now since you said it. Lamar Jackson last week was the highest rated passer all year in a game. They scored 10 points. They only scored 10 points. They lost the game. He threw 0 touchdowns, ran 0 touchdowns, and he was the highest rated passer all year. And that's because Mark Andrews dropped a wide open touchdown. Nelson Aguilar dropped a wide open touchdown. Bateman dropped a wide open touchdown. That's 3, the German way. All right.
Do you know how many?
And
Do you know how many drops Bateman had in the game? I don't know the
they,
count, but it was ridiculous.
they had 7 total drops and 3 were touchdowns. So they should have blown out the Steelers. But again, that's why we bet the Steelers last week, because these rivalry games, they're always one-score games and funky things always happen. So I know we're a little off track there. We were talking about Jamar, giving him his kudos. But, yeah, Lamar's playing great. His guys just got to come up for him. All right, lastly,
Are we going to
last
go into
impact
that
player.
game, or are we going to go back to that game?
Say it again?
Let's do the last impact player, and now touch on that game when we get to the marquee matchup.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. So, yeah, Kittle's our last impact player. 3 touchdowns. They had been waiting to let him go off all year. He had 3 catches, 67 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Every catch was a touchdown. The title of our podcast last week started with, do the 49ers own the Cowboys? And they answered that question. Really, it made it really easy for us. They own the Cowboys, and they are the best team in the NFL right now, at least to me. I don't think it's even close. I know Purdy sucks. I know I've got the Eagles bet, but they're playing flawlessly right now. And Purdy, whatever, what did someone say in one of my text messages, one of my groups? Someone said, like, the only reasonable explanation for how Purdy's playing is Tom Brady gave him all his powers or something like that, because literally the guy is making no mistakes and he's playing incredible.
Yeah, so I do agree with you that I do think that they are the best overall team in the NFL. I probably like the offense the Dolphins are running, but that might be biased. But the overall team, it's not even close. It's got to be the 49ers. Kittle last week saved one of my weeks in the highest scoring team. Well, not saved my week. That's kind of going on. Yeah. He hadn't really performed that well all year, but that 3 touchdowns was huge. Not that many yards, but hey, 3 touchdowns. What can you do?
Well, the thing is, he really wasn't playing well all year in terms of stats, but he loves the block. He does what's right for the team, and he knows that, some games it's going to be McCaffrey, some games it's going to be Debo, and some games it's Ayuk, and some games it's him. So he waits till it's his turn, and he really, what a game from him. 3 touchdowns, that's insane.
Yeah. He's got to do something.
Let's get into it. Nick. The marquee matchups for week 6. Okay. And we've got, how many do we have? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 marquee matchups. And I'm going to let you take the first one because you guys, Nick, nobody's prepped harder for a podcast than Nick did for this section of this podcast. So you take it away. You started off with the London. 3rd week in a row, we get a London game. Go ahead.
All right, so we've got Ravens versus Titans in London. Harbaugh kind of made it a point. They got blown out last year in the London game, so he made it a point, kind of like how he does with preseason, or he used to do actually with preseason. It seemed this year he was off, but he just kind of goes harder at certain things and sticks on them. So he made it a point to go out there early. He sent out I think they had, not equipment guys, but people part of their staff that were out there from before this, just waiting for this week. I think whatchamacallit. So I think that alone is going to give them an edge in this game, just like how we saw last week with the Jags. Not that they're going to be out there 2 weeks in advance, but the Titans, I don't even think the Titans are out there yet. They might fly out on Friday. So I think that's one edge to the Ravens. Second edge, this is the first week that the entire offensive line is going to be healthy as a full unit together since week 1. So I think that alone can make a difference on the run game and in the pass game. And then also Lamar coming off a game where he had 38 pass attempts, and Bean says he's the best passer in the league, rated the best passer in the league, I think, ever in a game.
According to PFF. According to PFF, yep.
I trust their facts. And he was quoted after the game saying that this is the offense that we want to run. So I'm hoping that we see a little more of that, and we'll see throughout the season. If they can run that offense, that could be a dangerous team.
Bum, 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 bum. We have a special guest prop god pick. Prop god's taking the week off. He's in hibernation. He's 6-4 on the year. He's been crushing it. We've got a supplementary Brendan pick of the week, and you can lock it in right now. You got about a half an hour. It's Isaiah Pacheco anytime touchdown. He says bad odds minus 160. I see it at minus 155 on mine, but Pacheco's been incredible. He's the clear lead back there. It's tough to see him not scoring tonight against the shittiest defense in the league.
Yeah, they've been going to him, and he's been providing results. So I think they continue with Pacheco tonight. I like it.
Yep. And if I'm leaning one way on this Ravens game, I'm not betting it straight up, but I would lay the 4 with the Ravens. I don't think they can drop the ball as much as they did last week. Lamar's playing great, like we said. So if I'm leaning one way, it's probably Ravens.
Yeah, the Titans offense looks pretty decent, but the Titan defense.
Hopkins looked good. Hopkins looked pretty good.
Yeah, but the Ravens have a good defense, and their offense is not to be slept on. They seem to just be plug anyone in at the running back position. You got Lamar as that threat. It can be a lot.
Agreed. All right, let's move on. We've got next marquee matchup. We've got the Seattle Seahawks traveling to Cincinnati. Bengals are laying 2.5 at home. The over/under is 45. This is a good game. We were actually talking about this right before we came on live, and it seems like the Bengals are minus 2.5 every week. And they were minus 2.5 at home against the Rams, on the road against the Cardinals. Now they're minus 2.5 at home against the Seahawks. I don't have a lean on this game either way. I could see the Bengals, capitalizing and progressing on their last week's performance, or I could see Seattle. Seattle can beat anyone. Geno plays well. The defense has some electric young guys. This is a really tough game. What are your thoughts on this game, Nick?
So I think we've seen the floor. I'm just remembering I forgot to put my second running back on the FanDuel, but I'll get that in. I think we've seen the floor on the Bengals. I don't think we can see them play any worse than that they've played. Burrow doesn't look 100%, but we just saw him play the best he's ever played. He even ran for a first down.
He definitely looked better. He looked better.
You know
we can agree on that. Yeah.
The fact that he was even attempting some of those runs gave me a good sign there. So honestly, if I'm going to bet the game, and I did bet the game, it'd be the Bengals. I think the Seattle secondary hasn't been tested the way that the Bengals can test them when they're healthy. They've got Jamar, they've got T. Higgins, and Jamar coming out and saying what he did the week before. I think that kind of gave Burrow like, hey, I'm going to throw him some 50-50 balls, and it's going to be on him to either look good or be like, hey. Basically, Jamar, I think, also offered Joe Burrow a little bit of support. Basically, it sounds like he called him out a little bit, but I think it offered him a little bit of support, like a scapegoat. Like, hey, toss me the ball, leave it. Hey, if I blow it, you have someone else you can point the finger to. I think that. Yeah, and Jamar offered that.
Yeah, and to wrap that up, they're getting T. Higgins back this week. He did practice today. Looks like he's playing. If you're taking the Bengals, I don't blame you. It's just a tough one for me for sure. It's going to be a good game, great game. We got a lot of good games this week. Next game, I believe they're both 3-2, but the Colts are traveling to Jacksonville. The Jags are laying -4, coming back from London. Over/unders 44. No Anthony Richardson, but if there's a backup in the league you do not want to face, it's Mr. Gardner Minshew. He always does something electric. And I would be very scared to lay 4 at home with the Jags against Minshew. How about you, Nick?
I wouldn't be as scared as you are. The only thing I don't think that Minshew makes the Colts that much better of a team, but the Colts are in general trending healthier. The defense, I believe, might have got whole either last week. If not, it's this week. Minshew isn't a horrible replacement, so that's not what I'm going with there. The thing that I kind of want to say is that the Jags are coming back from that time zone, playing a home game. I think that affects them. So this is one that I couldn't really bet, but interested to see how it plays out. It's a divisional matchup. The second time they're already playing for the second time this year. So we'll see how that head-to-head
They played
goes.
week 1.
Usually the Colts. So a lot of the time that in these divisional matchups in the rematch, the team that lost the first one usually comes back and wins, which means the Colts would be due for this win. But with their starter out, we'll see, because I think a lot of a lot of the Minshew magic that we saw this year, I think has been due to him coming in mid-game. So teams are prepping for Anthony Richardson, which is a completely different player and a completely different threat than Gardner Minshew. When teams have time to prep for Minshew, Minshew's a different player. So we'll see. I couldn't bet it, but I don't think the Colts really got it. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we got people saying, we got BX Damone saying Gardner's a bum. He's taking the Jags. So you guys are both leaning Jags. I don't know. You know what I will say though, if you have a Michael Pittman, or you just picked up Josh Downs in fantasy, who's a stud rookie receiver from North Carolina, Minshew does bode better for those receivers. He's a better pocket passer and better. So if you are thinking about starting one of those guys, he will be better for them than Richardson. Now, is he better for the team? Who knows? And you got to remember, Jonathan Taylor is going to get more work. Zach Moss looked great. I'm just saying it's tough to lay more than a field goal with the Jags, they won last week, but the Bills gave them that game. The Bills played like shit. They traveled too late. Jacksonville capitalized on every mistake. So I'd be hesitant to lay that number with the Jags.
The Jags defensive line is scary. I don't know what Minshew's going to do with that. They look scary. I might take the under in that game. Watch our Instagram. I might add that later.
All right, next game. Brock Purdy travels to Cleveland. Deshaun Watson ain't going to be there. Deshaun is he's ducking the league right now. Something weird's going on with him. Shocker. The Niners are laying 8.5 on the road, and the over-under is 36 measly points. 36.5 points. Like you said in the notes here, I see Deshaun will be out. I don't know if they ruled him out, but they pretty much said he was going to be out. And then, the Browns have a solid defense. We know that. But the Cowboys have a solid defense too, and we saw what the Niners did to them last week. It's no team is hotter right now than the 49ers, and that's why the spread is so large here, Nick.
Yeah, so the wind is supposed to be acting up in this game. It's supposed to be a bad weather game. If it's going to be a run game, and we're going to – if we had to bet, gun to my head, I would have to take the 49ers. With that spread, though, it's – okay, so back posted, it's 9.5 now.
It's 9.5
36
now.
Over and under. It's 9.5 now. So it's close to maybe I take Cleveland, but I can't. What I wanted to say is, though, we're going to have McCaffrey and Purdy versus PJ Walker and Jerome Ford, and I'm not sure the other got Travion something. Spears?
Yeah.
I'm not sure who that.
Yeah. No. They got Kareem Hunt's their other running back. But, yeah, I mean, I will say PJ Walker is more serviceable right now, unfortunately, than Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who looked terrible last time out. So I got a feeling that everyone's going to be on the Niners, and somehow, some way, maybe Cleveland might backdoor this game. But how could you not bet the Niners? They look incredible.
Agreed. I might work the Niners into a teaser, and I might talk myself into Cleveland money line. We'll see.
So here's the thing: if they were at 8.5, it's a perfect teaser leg. 9.5, you win by a field goal, you're not winning the tease, so it's a little bit tougher to take. But if I'm teasing it from 9.5 to 3.5, I might as well just take the 9.5. If it's 8.5 and I can get it under a field goal, then I'd feel better about the teaser.
And there's always a live option in this game. We'll see what it gets out to.
Yep. All right. 2 more games here. We alluded to this before, but the Detroit Lions 4-1 are traveling to Tampa Bay 3-1 Buccaneers. 3-1 they are. Detroit is laying, and it was at 3 a couple days ago, and it's at 3.5 now. Over unders 42.5. Can Jared Goff play outdoors, Nick?
I mean, we're going to answer that question this week. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is legit, so that's going to be tough for him to deal with. Baker Mayfield has continued to perform on third down, but I think that's due to bad play calling. Like, they're kind of throwing away their first and second downs. We'll see if that continues throughout the year. The Lions, they're good on offense and defense. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know what to make of this game. If I had to bet something, I would take chalk and take the Lions, but I don't know. I'm interested to see how this one plays out
We got
because we got
BX
Goff
Demo.
away.
Yeah, we got BX Damone. He's saying the Lions would cover last week. I do remember you saying that. And then Romy Roan, he's on Tampa this week, which I don't blame him. So I'll tell you how I'm feeling on this game. I'm so torn. If the Lions were fully healthy, I would definitely be on the Lions. But you got Amon-Ra, who knows if he's playing. I think he will, but he's not 100%.
Right.
Jahmyr Gibbs is questionable. And then Laporta, the god, the best tight end in the league, he just popped up on the injury report today with a calf. Yeah, so it and then on the other side of the ball, clearly Tampa Bay has overperformed. Mike Evans is probably going to play, but he's not 100%. So it's just, and I do agree. I'm not betting this game straight up, but I kind of agree with Rome. I think that you got to take that field, the 3.5 points at home. And I also think they're a great teaser leg because that defense, you got to remember, they still got a lot of guys from the Super Bowl. They still got Devin White. They still got Shaq Barrett. They still got Antoine Winfield. They got guys who are good football players. And
how's their pass rush? How's their pass rush? I haven't seen it.
They're solid. I mean, they've got guys. Now, Detroit's got a great O-line. But, it's just that type of game where there's so many pros and cons for both teams that I'm just like, all right, I got to just watch the game and enjoy it. And I just can't bet this one because I have no clue which way it's going to go. If I had one play on this game, it would probably be Tampa in a teaser so that you get 9.5 points, you get through the touchdown, you got plenty of points there. And if they lose a close one, you win. And there's still a chance they win this game outright.
I like that angle because Goff outdoors under pressure, that usually spells disaster. We'll see. I think he has the better team, but we'll see.
Monday night, last marquee matchup. Dallas Cowboys embarrassed, pants down, destroyed, humiliated, just absolutely disgusting. Yeah. They lose. They get killed by San Fran. They're traveling to LA. It will be a home game for Dallas because the Chargers have no fans. They're laying 2.5 points on the road, technically. The over-under is the biggest of the week, 51, which we love to see on a Monday night game. And this game, which team is going to want to lose this game? That's what it's going to come down to. We know the Chargers hate to win. Nobody likes losing more than Brandon Staley and the Chargers. So, you can see it by this line. The Cowboys, even after getting just destroyed, they're still the favorites and laying almost a field goal. I really think, and it's not just because I have him, there's Zach, my boy, legends, baby, let's go. I really think it's not just because I have him in a fantasy league. They got to get CeeDee Lamb going. They have to. He's had one game with more than 4 catches, and he's a mismatch with any player on the field, especially with that Chargers backfield, defensive backs. They're terrible. So I think they got to get CeeDee Lamb going. Micah Parsons is going to be Micah Parsons. But on the other side, it's going to be tough because without Trayvon Diggs, how are they stopping Keenan Allen? That's going to be tough. What do you think about this game, Nick?
Yeah, so I agree with you. The Chargers got the worst defense, tied for the worst defense in the league. So they're going to get eaten up in this game, and I believe CeeDee Lamb does it. I don't think after they got pants like that the Cowboys just come out and lay an egg again. The over, that's a high number.
I want to take that over so badly, but the problem is all these primetime games seem to go under. Oh, Zach and the boy, everyone's in North Carolina. Shout out North Carolina, great place. I'll be back up there in December as well. Love it up there. All right, let's see who we have here. It's Georgie Play. Hey guys, I'm 5. I love these questions. You know what? Let's hold it. Do you have any more thoughts on this Cowboys Chargers game? Because for me, I said to myself on Sunday night, once the Cowboys blew my teaser, I will never bet on the Dallas Cowboys again. And then I saw them playing the Chargers, and I'm like, I almost want to bet on them again right after. But I'm not going to. I'm staying away.
Yeah, so the Cowboys defense is good. So that would take me off the over. We'll see. Hopefully there's fireworks. Yeah, let's see with this question.
Yep, before the pod picks. Before we get into pod picks, let's read George Plays. I'm 5-0. That's beautiful. My team is Tua, CMC, Ken. His name is Ken Walker. He wants to be called Ken. Kupp, Olave, Goddard, flex is James Cooks. I have Fields on the bench. Is it a good trade to give Fields and Kenneth for Bijan? Ooh, that's a tough
Oof.
one. That's a tough one. So here's the thing: you're 5-0. You haven't lost yet. Tua is just a liability. Um, I he's been crushed. Oh, this is tough. This is a great question. I love this type of stuff. Fields and Kenneth for Bijan. What do you think, Nick? What are you feeling?
Risk it to get the biscuit. I would actually take the trade.
Okay,
I would take the
I'm
trade.
leaning
I think if
towards.
Tua gets hurt, he can field him on the waiver wire. And I think Bijan is that dynamic of a player and that much of an upgrade over Kenneth, although I like Kenneth Walker this week a lot. If he has Bijan and CMC, I think that's a championship team.
Okay, I'm actually in agreement with you here. I almost want to say I'd rather give up. I know he's my guy and I love the Dolphins, but I do prefer Fields over him the rest of the season for fantasy. Somehow, some way, I do because. But if you've been rolling Tua and playing him, keep Tua, accept the trade, and Bijan could be the best running back in fantasy. Kenneth Walker, we know he doesn't really catch that many passes. Is it PPR? It probably is some type of PPR, which gives Bijan even more of an advantage. So go ahead and take it, man. That's gonna be a fun fucking team if you got CMC and Bijan there. Cup's back. He looked great last week. Olave, I worry about. He's got that turf toe or something going on. Goddard's best days are ahead. I'm not a big James Cook guy, but he's a great flex. So well done on the season so far. Oh, non-PPR. None at all. Oh, my God. Yeah, still take it, right? I'm still good to take it.
Yeah, I'm taking that.
All right, Nick, start us off. Pod picks. We no Prop God this week. Prop God's he's 6-4 on the year, 2-1 last week, and he's sitting out this week. But this is what you guys come to us for. The best picks. Nick swept last week, so he's going to start us off 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. What do you got this week, Nick?
Going back to the well. Over the Pompano kid. Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens -4. If you look at the box score last week, although they lost the game, they didn't have a horrible game. I think they continue to build on that. Like I said earlier, the offensive line, it will be healthy and together for the first time since week 1. I think that speaks world to what they're about to do this team. Baltimore -4.
All right. I like it. I think I was leaning that way if I was going to bet that game as well. So I'll give you my first play. I've got 2 plays this week. And CJ Stroud's been great. He's been incredible. We went against them last week with Atlanta, and it got close. He led a game-winning drive, and then luckily Ritter got us back down the field. But I think New Orleans is the perfect team to go into Houston and beat them. I think they've got that experienced defense. They've got guys to cover the receivers. Tank Dell's out, which is not that big of a deal. They got Cam Jordan on the D-line. They're just an experienced defense. Kamara looks great back. They're coming off a great win. Confidence at an all-time high. I think the veterans go in there and they show Houston, hey, this is how you play some hard-nosed football. And I think they really beat. I don't think it's an absolute blowout, but I think something like 24-10 or 27-17, something like that. I really like New Orleans this week. That's my only straight-up play of the week.
Word. I like Houston in a teaser. We'll see if I end up getting them in there. They play a lot of one-score games, so I could see this ending 3 points and New Orleans wins this game. So moving on to my second pick, I've got Cincinnati Bengals at -2.5 versus the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle hasn't really had a tough test so far this year. Like I think they're about to see Cincinnati at home. Cincinnati, I think they're finally getting their feet under them. Joe Burrow looking good. Jamar Chase speaking up. And I think he's got to continue to show up if that team's going to have success. They got T. Higgins coming back. Was it concussion protocol? I think it was. Or is it hamstring?
So, or no, he hurt something. I don't think it was concussion protocol. I think he hurt something, but he's back. I mean, he practiced in full today. I'd say it's a 90% chance he plays. It looks like he's going to play. He said he was going to play, so we'll see. Yeah. It's a tough. Like I said, I don't
a lot of rush yards, so I'm worried about Kenneth Walker. I would take some Kenneth Walker props, but I do think through the air, Joe Burrow and the 3 options get it done.
All right. I love this teaser I'm about to give out. It almost seems too good to be true, but we got to roll with it. And it's a two-team 6.5-point tease. They both are -7 favorites, so they both just have to win the game. Shout out Rod, what's happening? This is a Philadelphia Eagles and Los Angeles Rams teaser. The Eagles are playing the Eagles are playing the Jets, and the Rams are playing the Cardinals. All they got to do is win these games. The Eagles will beat the Jets. Could be ugly. That Jets D could play good, but they're going to win the game. And the Rams, the Cardinals are going to fall apart. This is last week. They started great that first half. They lose James Conner. Dobbs looks like himself again in the second half. This is when the Rams fall apart. Cooper Kupp looked great last week. Him and Puka are a dynamic duo. Aaron Donald can wreak havoc. I think they blow the Cardinals out. So give me the Philly Los Angeles Rams teaser, and then I have New Orleans. Those are my two plays for the week.
I like it. So we'll see about my teaser later on when I get it together, because I'm not sure about the 49ers line. I'm gonna probably cook the Texans in with something, but so for now, my two official pod picks are Cincinnati -2.5 and Baltimore -4 in London. You'll get that in before the 1 p.m.s even start.
Beautiful. Love it. Those are the picks for the week. Let's get to the fantasy corner, Nick. What do we got this week?
Yeah, so we've got questions for the Dean.
Let's go.
And the first question for the Dean is Jordan Addison, because we know Justin Jefferson just went to the IR. So I got Jordan Addison or Devontae Smith.
This week?
This week and season. So I think the general question would be season, but you can answer. No, the general question has been this week.
So I'm going to assume Addison's healthy. He did pop up on the injury report with a little ankle something, but I don't think it's major. I'm going to disregard that. So if it's just that, I like Addison probably this week. They're actually such a toss-up this week. They're both such great plays. Sauce, maybe he'll be on A.J. Brown a little bit more, so Devontae could get a couple deep shots. But if Addison's fully healthy, I'd probably take him this week. And then tough to take him over Devontae for the rest of the year. So I'd take Devontae for the rest of the year.
I like it. This next one involving your boy, Puka Nacua or Jalen Waddle?
Ooh, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I
don't do it. Oh my God.
Yeah, Puka. They're both going to have huge weeks this week, but I think you still got to go Puka this week, and I would have Puka for the season too. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. All right.
Yeah, I love Waddle. I think he's perfect, but we got so many weapons, and Tyreek is really showing himself this year. So, at Puka, I'd take Puka.
Alrighty.
If someone offered me Waddle for Puka, like I have Puka in a couple leagues, I would not be taking that trade. No chance.
What about a keeper league?
Say it again. You're gonna have to fix your internet for next week.
What about in a keeper league?
Keeper league? Waddle for
Nacua.
I don't know. I'm not you'd have to know what rounds they're drafted in and stuff. It's Puka. Puka's better. Okay. Puka's a better fantasy player this year.
So this will be this week, right? Breece Hall against the Philly defense or Ramondre Stevenson against the Raiders defense?
Ramondre. Yeah, it's gross, but you got to do it. Yeah. Okay. Actually, yeah, I hate both these plays, but yeah, Ramondre. Give me Ramondre.
Go with your gut.
Yep, that's my gut. I would take Ramondre over him. Yep.
And that wraps up questions for the Dean.
Big FanDuel week again. Nick, you are down. It's 4-1 now.
Just digging a hole, man. Just digging a hole. Just ready to break through one week.
I am dominating you. It's 4-1. This is my year in fantasy, though. So nothing. Yeah. Don't be ashamed about it. This is my year. So I'll lead us off. I'll give you my whole lineup. So I did the similar thing I did last week. We're going Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback. We got Kamara and Ramondre at running back. Ramondre is pretty cheap. Triple stack. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, both of them on the roster. And then I got Josh Downs, the rookie in Indy. I really like him this week. I think he could have a good game. We're going Dallas Goedert at tight end. D'Onta Foreman, I'm rolling the dice because it's only Thursday night. I do think Roschon Johnson probably sits this week, and that's why I'm playing Foreman. I think he gets a ton of work. And then give me, I always go cheap on these defenses. Give me the Patriots defense.
Okay, head-to-head on the defense there. So am I allowed to put an asterisk or like an option on my running back, one of my running backs? Okay.
Maybe.
So
we'll see. Let's see what you got.
I'm read off the whole thing, and I'll tell you which guy the option is. Joe Burrow at quarterback, Kyron Williams running back. This is the option running back, Jeff Wilson Jr. I've got Jamar Chase stacked with Joe Burrow, Adam Thielen, Jalen Waddle, Dalton Schultz, Tutu Atwell in the flex, and the Las Vegas Raiders defense against the New England Patriots. So I would flex Jeff Wilson for like Salvin Ahmed or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fair. Who knows if he's going to play? That's fair. And just so everyone knows, the last 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, you lost by 0.9. And last week, you lost by 0.98. 119.34 to 120.32. Just devastating losses. And, yeah, you got to get a win. You got to make it 4-2 here. I mean, I could close you out on the season in the next few weeks if you don't win.
I got to get a win.
You got to get a win. All right. Everyone, Chiefs are going to probably crush the Broncos, but go enjoy at least a little bit of Thursday night football. Get the pod picks in. We'll be back next week. Look on Instagram. We might have a few extra plays. Nick will probably have a couple things on there. But you got anything else?
That's it. Follow us at the Nick and Bean Pod on Instagram.
All right. Peace, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Peace.